Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well as we dive into transfer news. Yeah, transfer news, ladies and gentlemen, transfer news. I know, somehow we're getting transfer news before January. Well, don't get too excited, is the message here. Don't get too excited. But you're going to want to stay till the end. We're going to go over this piece of Chelsea/Blueco news. We're going to go over some other things happening elsewhere. And we are going to get to what FIFA have decided to do with the World Cup tickets. And it's an absolute shambles as far as I'm concerned. But make sure you stay till the end to find out what. Now, before we get cracking, make sure you head over to Shootout, where multiple discussions in terms of the Champions League roundup. We've got the Premier League predictions coming out tomorrow. We also have another video talking about the state of the Premier League and all the teams, Chelsea included, but all the teams. And I also did go on GBFC and spoke about Chelsea and Maresca and how we're looking off the back of that loss against Atalanta. Now, I'm going to give you guys a double upload on here tomorrow. And why? Because tomorrow, I'm going to give you the preview to Chelsea versus Everton. But not just that. Before then, I think there's an important video that needs to be done. And it's a message to Maresca. So make sure you're here for that. It's going to be a good one. Now, let's get cracking. Chelsea have signed someone. Have we not? Well, let me show you the cliff notes and then we'll get into it. Here's latest from Fabrizio. So, exclusive. Chelsea's ownership group, Blueco, win the race to sign 16-year-old Mohamed Zongo. Here we go. Deal done from Sporting Cascade FC after being scouted at the Under-17 World Cup. The next step will be at Strasbourg, seen by CFC, Blueco, as the perfect setting for his next phase. On top of this, today, we had Chelsea anticipated 2 European top clubs in the race to sign Mohamed Zongo, considered as a top talent. 16-year-old midfielder will start European chapter at Strasbourg with next step at Chelsea. This is actually pretty ironic, right? Because I kind of called for this. Yeah. What did I say? I've said, and it's on record, that in terms of young talent that we're looking in South America for, I did not advise, but I did mention that Africa needs to be paid attention to. Yeah, if you're looking at untapped resources, yeah, untapped potential and untapped areas where there's talent beyond the eye can see, yeah, that no one might know about. Africa is also a fantastic place to go where you will find just gems of footballers. And then from there, you bring them in, and then I guess you can do what you want to nurture them into the footballer that you want them to become. Africa is rich as South America when it comes to this, right? And I felt like, yeah, you know what? This should be the next step, surely, yeah? Africa should be the next one that we look at. Well, turns out Chelsea were doing just that. Well, not Chelsea. This isn't a Chelsea job. This is a Blueco job. So it turns out Blueco were doing this. And I have to be honest. I think this piece of news has come at a bad time. It's come at a bad time. Because if this piece of news had been released after we beat Barcelona, I think a lot more people would be optimistic at this. But I think this needs to be looked at in isolation. Fully in isolation. We're not going to see this kid still for some time. Because he's 16. And he'll go to Strasbourg. And he'll play there. And he'll develop. And we'll see. We won't even know yet. And he's not been signed for Chelsea. He's been signed under Blueco. He'll go to Strasbourg first. And then from Strasbourg to Chelsea if he's good enough. So that's something to take into consideration. But who is Mohamed Zongo? Who is he? 16 years old. Midfielder. Plays as a centre mid. More attacking mid. But has played off the right, apparently. I'll be honest, I've seen glimpses. Not much more than glimpses. And why? Because he played at the Under-17 World Cup, like mentioned. But not just that. He plays for Burkina Faso. His team, Sporting Cascade. If I'm going to get there, I don't want to do it disjustice. Yeah, Sporting Cascade FC. I've got their full name here if we're going to talk about their full name. Sporting Football de Cascade Tenakuru. Yeah, it's probably the area in Burkina Faso. Now, I got to be honest. As someone that is aware of African football, yeah, even at club level, because I've got my team in Algeria who plays at club level, who plays in the Champions League, who plays in the equivalent of the Europa League, the CAF Cup over there, who plays. I'm aware of African teams completely, right? And TP Mazembe, Orlando Pirates, if we go to Al Ahly, the biggest team in Africa, if you look in terms of achievements and accomplishments, ES Tunis, who Chelsea played recently, we know that. But across the board, Conakry, there's loads of teams in Africa that, when you look at them, it's possible to have the odd gem here and there, right? But overall, Burkina Faso is not the first country that pops into your mind when you're looking at African nations, right? Now, don't let that fool you. Burkina Faso, the home of the Traores, if we know, yeah? There's been quite a few Traores to come out of Burkina Faso, and there still is, right? But Burkina Faso is a very underrated footballing country. Very underrated. Because when you think Africa, you think Nigeria, you think Ghana, you think North Africa, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, you think Egypt, you think Cameroon, you think South Africa, you think Ivory Coast, you think Senegal. No one says Burkina Faso, but let me tell you, Burkina Faso, they are, how can I describe it? In Africa, they're always capable of being like how we are seeing Aston Villa now, right? Just that team out of nowhere. It's like, hang on, they're actually good. That's Burkina Faso. Mohamed Zongo played for the under-17s for them. Burkina Faso, in that under-17 World Cup, actually got to the quarter-final. They actually beat Germany in the last 16 of that competition and only lost 1-0 to Italy in that quarter-final. Prior to that, they finished runners-up in their group. Burkina Faso with the US finishing top, Czech Republic finishing third, and then Tajikistan with no points. Burkina Faso at that level are doing really, really well. That's something to pay attention to later. Can Burkina Faso go on and actually do something good later on? Maybe. But Mohamed Zongo, who did get player of the match at one of the games at the Club World Cup. I'm assuming it's the one that he scored in, because he did score in one game at that World Cup. And as seen in that picture where he picked up that award, he is a number 8. So that explains everything you need to know. 16 years old, we shall see what happens. But Mohamed Zongo, welcome to the party, I guess. Let me know what you think. I'm sorry it's not Osimhen. But we'll see. And look, I think it's wise in this moment right now where we've got our issues and criticisms of what we're seeing with Chelsea at the moment. I think it's wise and level-headed to not pile on this and go, oh my God, what a disgrace. Mohamed Zongo, he's a flipping nobody. No. I remember thinking like that about Esteval. And then all of a sudden, flipping now, Endrick looks subpar compared to someone like Esteval. Now, when it comes to this new generation of players, there's no opinion. He could be the next world beater, and we don't know. He could be absolute waffle. We don't know. We don't know. Can't come to a conclusion if you genuinely do not know. But in terms of what Chelsea need in the transfer market properly for the first 11 or for the squad right now, that's a different story, and we can get to that in January. Now, I want to show you something. Let me know your thoughts, by the way, on that, in terms of Mohamed Zongo. Much appreciated. Let's get to this. This is just nice to see. But if I'm not mistaken, I think this was at an EA event. Check this out. So, Cole, I'd like you to meet Cole, and Cole, I can't even speak. It's so confusing right now that I can't even say it. Cole, I'd like you to meet Cole and Cole. Cole, I'd like you to meet Cole and Cole. And Cole, I'd like you to meet Cole and Cole. Yes. That's Cole Palmer, Ashley Cole, and Joe Cole. The 3 Coles have assembled. In fact, let me tell you what this actually looks like. There we go. That is an accurate representation of what we have just seen. The 3 goals. Brilliant. Now, this is at an EA event, apparently. I don't know if this is for FC26 or if this is for, I don't know, but apparently it's something to do with that. And they all linked up, and there we go. We've got the 3 goals in the same room. Just thought I'd show you that, because it's Chelsea heritage, isn't it? Anyway. FIFA! FIFA, step outside. Step outside. You lot are a disgrace. Honestly. And you know what? No, if we're going to be real, right? Everyone involved in this World Cup coming up is exploiting it. Fully exploiting it. Everyone's exploiting this. This has gone nuts. And why? What's happened? Well, The Athletic. Fill us in. So, FIFA have just raised the prices for the 2026 World Cup yet again. Some standard group stage tickets are now listed at $700. A lower level ticket to the final is now $8,680, almost $2,000 more than the original price. This is bonkers, ladies and gentlemen. And if we're going to dive into this, right? As Sam Sear said, this is an absolute disgrace. Something has to give. Well, let's take a look at these prices. Here are the FIFA World Cup 2026 prices, right? By category for ESTC members. So, look at this. Just look at this England running. For the first game against Croatia, if you're going to be sat somewhere in the flipping clouds, I'm guessing, right? Or probably the worst seat in the house, you're going to have to pay $265 for that ticket anyway. Yeah. That's the worst seat for the first group game, right? What's the score? What's Panama? England, Panama, surely, right? Surely there's a discount on that, Nah. 220 is your best bet. Same for Ghana. And then after that, it's all guns blazing. You might as well forget it. Round of 32, price trickles up. Round of 16, price trickles up. Your cheapest seat for a round of 16 game is $300. Quarterfinal, double it, baby. Double it. Yeah, not 300 anymore. Actually, double it and add some sprinkles on the top. It goes up to 680 as your lowest possible ticket for England in the quarterfinal. Semi-final, add another third on top of that. You're going to have to pay $1,000 minimum. If you want a good seat in the house, bring out 3K. Bring out 3K, ladies and gentlemen. You want to go and watch the bronze final, right? The third place playoff. Well, you're going to have to fork out $455 if you want to sit, behind the flipping rosette next to where the loo is, right? And if you want the final, you want the final. Now listen, unless I've got billionaires watching. Do I have any billionaires or multi-millionaires watching this? Do I have subscribers that are like gazillionaires here? Because if I do, I am speaking to you. You can get a ticket to the final for a whopping discounted price of $8,680. And that's the best seat in the house. If you want a discounted price at very good value, $4,185 is your price to pay. What a beautiful deal that is. Yeah, because for you, that will feel like 10p. But for the normal football fan, this is unthinkable. It's a dream. It's a fugazi. This entire tournament is washed. And why? Let me have a look at the other things. This is just the match ticket for a game. What? Oh, you want to go for the whole group stage? Oh, okay. Well, that's $1,000 then. Minimum. Nah, I'm waffling. Nah, 265 for one group game. Actually, yeah, for the group stage, it's a $1,000. It's $1,000. That's just the group stage. That's just match tickets. Match tickets. That's the cheapest one. You want to go to the most expensive? $2,500, please. For the whole group stage. That's $2,500 just for the group. What, you want the round of 32? We've got more games now. It's not straight to the round of 16. We've got the round of 32 now. It's been extended. So you've got another one. I'm telling you. This is just the match tickets. What about everything else? What about the travel from Dallas to Boston to New York to be continued? To be determined. 2, Atalanta or Dallas. 2, Miami, back to New York. Bish, bash, bosh, bish, bash, bosh, bish, bash, bosh. You are flying across the entire country non-stop. What about those plane tickets? How much are they? Well, guess what? They're going to be put up 5 times the price. What about if you want to stay somewhere? George said when he was at the Club World Cup, he stayed at this place, which was basically 1 star. And the person that runs the gaff told him personally, when it comes to World Cup, I'm going to put the prices up by 5. Everywhere. I've spoken to Feroz. Big up to Feroz. I know you're watching. He's just told me as well. Prices are already hiking. Airbnb prices are going to be put up 5 times the price. Everything's going to be put up 5 times the price. This is unaffordable. You know how much you're going to need to fork out to go to the World Cup? You're going to need to put out 20k if you want to have a good World Cup. 20 grand. Do you know what I could do with 20 grand? I can go around the world 5 times if I want. This is mad. It's too much. It's too much. This is too much. This is too much. I actually worry about the quality of the competition, right? The quality. I think we're going to get empty seats. Loads of empty seats. Loads. And that just doesn't help the atmosphere. I got to be honest. Prices for the final at that is insane. Literally, the stadium's going to be filled with millionaires. No one else can afford to go. You're going to have to fork out. You're going to have to pack out MetLife Stadium. Pack out. Normally, when you go to, let's say, WrestleMania, right? At least a WrestleMania ticket, if you wanted the cheapest one, for WrestleMania, you can get a cheap WrestleMania ticket in the sky for like $150, $200. Yeah? That's a one-time event. You're still going to pack the place out, at least. For the World Cup final, the cheapest ticket's $4,000. Who's going to pack it out? Monaco's going to pack it out. Yeah? There might be a big contingency here in Dubai. Downtown Dubai might drop over to the States to go and watch this final. You know? Unbelievable. This is actually really, 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 really bad. Really bad. So let me know your thoughts overall. I wanna hear what you think. Now, let's move to a couple of other things that's happened elsewhere before we wrap up. Man United. Understand Man United have no interest in Sergio Ramos despite reports. Hang on. What's the date? Is it 2009? Have we gone back in time? Hang on. Man United have no interest in Sergio Ramos. Have I gone through a time warp? What's going on? Sergio Ramos still plays? You know, like, let's be, no, okay, he does, I know he does, but come on. This is a, whoa, come on. I'd be more worried if United did have interest, yeah? I would be laughing and kicking off at the same time if United did somehow have interest in Sergio Ramos, yeah? If this was 10 years ago, then yes, absolutely. Now, what are we doing? Anyway, I also want to show you this. Pay attention. So, this is in the midst of so many basic questions that are asked to Jose Mourinho. On a weekly basis, the journalist of a small media outlet, Bola Narede, asked the following question. He said, Mr. Jose, you already highlighted your game plan of attracting Napoli's pressure to then be able to explore the space in behind. I wanted to ask you about the build-up. What was the importance of Barrenetxea, the DM, dropping wide and playing facing towards the opposition? And then Oresnes moving wide in the other side. How important was that in the build-up? And then what did Jose say? He says, you know your football. Well done. You know your football. Maybe they'll get you to substitute one of the other know-it-alls that don't actually know anything. Great question. And then he goes on to explain, our centre defensive midfielders' wide positioning caused them trouble because they only had 2 midfielders, Elmas and McTominay. So if they pressed, we would have more space in the middle. And if they didn't press, Enzo would have time on the ball. I just thought I'd highlight that, just as an example. Because when I read this and I saw the clip, I was like, you know what? That is proper football journalism. Proper. And I have one person that I can actually give credit to on this sort of level, and that's Soraya, who, congratulations, got herself a fantastic new deal with a new agency. We've all seen, it's on the socials. Huge congrats. If there's anyone in the space that deserves opportunity like that, it's her. So Soraya, big respect in all that you do and keep it up. You're killing it. Soraya, go always to Enzo Maresca, or to anyone, but Enzo Maresca in particular, we always see she's asking questions that we all want to know, tactical stuff, trying to get into his reasoning, trying to get into his thought process. And I'll be honest, Soraya, we need you more than ever right now. And hence I'm going to be dropping the video tomorrow that I'm going to be dropping because, hey, us and Maresca, we need to have a word. Yeah, we need to have a word. We got to have a conversation before we even think about playing Everton. Yeah, let's try and come to an understanding on what needs to be done here, and then let's move forward. So be here tomorrow. But Soraya asks those proper questions. Well, this person done the exact same thing, and Mourinho was impressed. And you know what? I think it's an example to all football journalists of what they should actually be asking. So respect, huge respect. I just thought I'd give that recognition. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, oh boy, in Finland, he's not looking good, bruv. There was a team that got relegated, and now they might no longer exist. And why? Let's just say the fans didn't want to see their team ever again. Let's get into it. Here it is. Breaking! This is wild. After FC Haka were relegated to the second division in Finland, a group of 3 minor fans set fire to the stadium stand. I mean, that's gone. Let's be honest. That's finished. That has been legitimately burned down to the ground. RIP Stadium. RIP Football Club. These lot legitimately took it to their control to delete club. You know on FIFA when you actually just delete club? They actually just did that in real life. They have deleted club. This club is gone. They're going to have to play in their local park if they have one. That is wild. I don't condone this at all. That is ridiculous, right? I know here we can have a look and whatnot. I mean, what's done is done, right? We can look at this and even have a giggle on something, but this is outrageous. This is absolutely insane, and that's why I'm showing it to you, because this is newsworthy, unbelievable. I never knew Finnish people were like that. And Scandinavia as a whole, that whole area, really calm people. What happened? I guess it's not everyone. Yeah, just like everywhere else. You always get coconuts in whatever race, colour, creed, or flipping group or sect or whatever you want to say. There's always a couple of coconuts. There's always a couple of mentally unstable idiots. No matter who. Always remember that, no matter who. And there's always good in everyone too. So remember that too. That's a nice lesson to end this video on. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And I'll catch all of you tomorrow for a double. Like I've said, letter to Maresca and then the preview for Chelsea Everton. Once that letter's out, we can get into the preview. So make sure you're here, subscribe, notification bell on. Make sure you're on Shootout as well for all the content dropping there. Go and check out today's earlier Champions League roundup and go and check out the preview for the Premier League predictions coming out tomorrow. Make sure you're there. Have a good one, people. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch you tomorrow. In a bit, and peace.